Hi there. What is cognitive behavior therapy? So CBT is a type of psychotherapy that focuses on your thoughts and feelings and behaviors. We look at how they're linked and affect each other, and how if you make a change in one of them, it then has a knock-on effect on the rest of them. And in CBT there are then a range of techniques and exercises to help you break out of the sort of negative cycles you get caught up in, and then how to replace them with a much healthier cycle, and leading then to a happier and more productive life. So step one in CBT is to understand the problems, and is to break it down into these smaller parts. So what situations trigger these problems? Where are you when this happens? Who are you with? What thoughts get triggered off? Now, we're often not aware of what we're thinking, so part of the process is getting you aware of these thoughts. So what are the regular sort of thoughts that keep coming up? What do you end up feeling? So what emotions come up, and what physical sensations can get triggered as well. And then looking at what you do, what your behavior is. So it might be that you start doing more of something or start avoiding things. So a really simple example of this, say you're talking to someone and they look at their watch. What do you think? And you may well get some negative thoughts like, I'm boring them, and they want to get away, they'd rather talk to someone else. So that might lead to you then feeling anxious, feeling a bit hot. Your behavior might be that you sort of stop talking and you find an excuse to get away. Of course, another way of looking at this is that they might just have an appointment, and that's why they're looking at the watch. Or a positive reason could be that they're enjoying your company so much that they want to wait to the very last second till they get away. Now, of course, we don't often think that. So what we're going to do is have a look on the board, go through a diagram to help understand this in a bit more detail. So this is the cycle I was talking about. So a trigger comes along, that sets off some thoughts. The thoughts then trigger some emotions and physical feelings, and that then leads to some behaviors. So as an example, say the trigger could be making a mistake, or maybe some criticism. Those then trigger some automatic thoughts. For example, some really common ones that come up for people, like, I can't get anything right, or I'm always making mistakes. That then might lead to other thoughts about what people are thinking, that they think I am useless or not good enough, or that it might be that some sense that they look down on me. And that can then lead to just the general thoughts about themselves. A really common thought is a sense of that they're not good enough. And because there's then that worry that then they're going to get criticised, there's often the thought that I've got to then get away. Now, these thoughts will then trigger some emotions, and with these thoughts, it will probably trigger anxiety. Physical feelings that will come with that, so maybe feeling hot, your heart may be racing, even feeling sick. That will then drive some behaviours. And it might be sort of little things, might be that that person sort of looks down, looks away, or might physically get away. And will probably become very self-critical. And that self-criticism, of course, will feed back into this idea that they're not good enough. So that idea starts to be reinforced. It can also trigger thoughts about what people are like. So it might build up this idea that people aren't very nice, that people will be critical, people are nasty. Once this starts to get triggered, of course, what can then start to happen, it's a bit like sort of the radar in your head then starts looking out for this to protect you from it. So of course you look out for mistakes and criticism, which sends you around again. And so this cycle continues. The more you go around this cycle, the more that sense that you're getting things wrong is your mood can drop down. You start to feel low. That can then start to change your behaviour. Things become more extreme. So you might start to withdraw, to give up even more on trying things. But of course that then builds this sense of not being good enough even more. So that belief gets stronger. And also that sense of what people are like, which then means you tend to look for this even more, which then leads to you going round this cycle further and further. So your mood can start to sort of spiral down. So in CBT, this is of course one of the things we do first, is to get a really good picture of what's going on. And then there are different tools and techniques we use for each different area. So we'll be looking at your thinking and how to change that, how to get you to think more rationally, looking for the mistakes you make in your thinking. We'll be looking how to change physically how you're feeling. So techniques like relaxation and meditation. We're also looking at your behaviour, about how to change this sort of negative spiral, start putting healthier behaviours. The following videos will then start looking at each of these in detail and to show you the techniques that help you to overcome and change this cycle. So I hope you found that helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.